Alright, so the title of this video is called The Myth of the Higher Self. And what I'm going to say might be a little offensive or challenging to your current spiritual dogma or religious belief system, whatever it might be. But it's important that I make this video and point this out because the fact is we only have a certain amount of time on this planet. We only have a certain amount of time in this body. And we can spend that well, or we can waste it doing things which we think are good or positive or successful, when in reality they're just wastes of time. We're just being efficient rather than effective, so to speak. So one common thing and one huge stumbling block is this myth of the higher self, which basically implies that part of us is good, part of us is bad, part of us is higher, part of us is lower, part of us is spiritual, part of us is animal. And what we need to do, according to this line of thinking, is expand the spiritual and expand the good and expand the higher and suppress and get rid of and move away from the lower. And no matter what your current spiritual or consciousness strategy or belief system or religion is, it's fundamentally the same exact thing. Whether you're a yogi or vegan vegetarian or a raw foodist or a fundamentalist Christian or Muslim, you're both actually the same. You're both actually believing the same thing. And the only reason I know that is because I've been around the spectrum. I've been through all these different kinds of belief systems, yet through reflection, through study, they really have their same roots in the same exact place, which then means that they're the same thing. And what I mean by that is, I might have on a black hoodie right now, and I could go and say, I don't like the way this hoodie feels. I can go put on a red t-shirt, and then walk around thinking, I'm a new person. I'm different. The entire course of my entire life has changed. My destiny is forever altered, and I'm going to reincarnate into a higher plane because I changed my shirt. When in reality, I'm still the same person. I still have the same thoughts. I'm still going to go to bed about the same time, wake up about the same time, eat the same things, do the same things. Still the same person. So just because I put on another outfit or a different outfit doesn't change me. It doesn't really get to the root of the problem. So if we really want to get to the root, we have to go exactly there and pull out the roots, find the philosophical foundations, and then deprogram them and see that they're false. So to identify this and extrapolate this a little bit more, basically there's a few common ways that this manifests. I'm bad now, but if I live my life by the rules, when I die I'll go to heaven. Or I'm bad now, or I'm unenlightened now, and if I live my life by the rules, when I die I'll get to reincarnate in a higher plane or in a higher body. But if I don't follow the rules, I'll go to hell or reincarnate into a lower plane. Or if I just eat the right diet, if I just only eat raw, then I'll never get sick. Then, at the end of my life, I'll live forever, and hopefully I'll never die, and everything will be fine. Or if I just eat whatever it is, then maybe that'll save me. Or if I just meditate enough, if I just do 4 hours a day, every day, if I go to retreats, if I'm a monk, if I don't talk to people, if I don't have sex, if I don't do all these things, then just maybe, I'll be enlightened, or I'll have samadhi, or I'll experience cosmic consciousness. Or, if I believe in Jesus enough, when I get to heaven, he'll save me. Those are all fundamentally the same thing, because what they say is, I'm broken, I'm bad, but if I just do this one thing, or if I just follow the rules, if I just listen to the collective ego, or the predetermined role, then, just maybe, I'll be fine. I'll be saved. I'll be enlightened. I'll be conscious. I'll have samadhi. I'll tap to my higher self. I'll become a Buddha, whatever. It's all fundamentally the same thing. And the first root that this has is basically what I just pointed out, the fall of man, or the original sin, which says, maybe sometime in the past everything was perfect, everything was good, but now, not so much. Now we need these things because we're born, and for some reason something's wrong with us, and we need these disciplines to make us better, to fix us, so that we can be saved, or whatever it is. Second is all of these different things have their roots in a feudalistic, hierarchical, human-centered, divisive model of reality, which chops and blocks everything up into, higher, lower, good, bad, male, female, hot, cold, blah, 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 all these different things, chops them up and thinks that they're separate, when in reality, they're one and the same thing because they're complementary. It's like you can have a coin, you can say, oh, one side's heads, one side's tails, but it's actually the same coin. I can have this pen, And on one end it might be north, one end might be pointing south, but actually it's still the same pen. And all these different quote separations or divisions are just different ways of talking about the same thing. It doesn't mean they're separate, they're just different words. So what happens is we're born into this feudalistic hierarchical way of looking at the world, and then we just take it in. And then we take this fragmentation and we put it in ourselves. We think, well, thinking's better than feeling. Rational brain's better than intuition. Left brain's better than right brain. Thinking's better than feeling. Higher's better than lower. Spiritual's better than animal, etc. And then we just spend our lives struggling and battling ourselves and beating ourselves up and like just spinning in circles and essentially just running on a hamster wheel for our whole lives. So now you can see hopefully how all these different ideas are really the same. All these different quote paths. The only reason, there's that saying, all paths lead to the same source is because they're not actually different paths, it's because they're actually the same path. Because if you start off saying, I'm broken, something's wrong with me, I need to fix myself, then it's just still the same path. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's a really important thing that I wanted to point out, something I've been kind of digesting over the last few months after, being someone who's been around the block with these different spiritual or new age or metaphysical or religious or dietary or whatever it is, all those different modalities or strategies or whatever you want to call them, been through them and studied them and analyzed them, broken them down. They all have their roots in the same place. So hopefully now that I've pointed that out, that you can see maybe some of these things that are running through your head, that maybe the battles that you're having with yourself, maybe the strife and struggle and hardship that you might be self-inflicting on yourself is totally unnecessary and you don't need to do it. Because life isn't meant to be like spent pushing a boulder uphill. It's not really what we're here for. It's fine if that's what you want to do. You can do whatever you want with your life. But for me, it doesn't really feel very good, so I don't want to do it. And everything I've shared in this video, I want you to know is from my own personal experience, things that I've experienced and been through and felt tangibly and viscerally. So when I'm talking about, hopefully it's not coming off saying you're doing this, you're doing that. Basically just things that I've been through, things that I've noticed, things that I've noticed in myself, and things that I've studied and reflected upon. And I share that in hopes that it helps you and saves you some struggle and some suffering that I had to go through to learn these things. So hopefully it can speed up your path of growth and expansion. So hopefully you have some questions and comments. Definitely post them below, and I'll talk to you soon.